So we have information Romeo, as long as it stays the same. Okay, so half left, half out of view. Half left, half up. 2 flag. 3-5. Currently 185.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's just a compass card. It doesn't really do.
Yeah.
But whatever you want to use it for.
If I was setting up for an approach, I would rotate this over to probably right about there. And even if it's to here, that would be 003, and that would be close enough that this would be responding correctly.
Yes.
And over at Oxford it's 005, so that would be right on 05.
Alright, sounds good. Nice. And so, yeah, it automatically switched to the map page, but the small knob, you see how it switches through the different files down
there? Yeah.
Like a G1000, and then the big knob will switch your files, and then the pages are the small knob, like what I was trying to say. So we were on second from the right on nav, and that's our map. Sometimes you'll have something like this happen, especially doing instrument approaches. If you hit clear, it gets rid of all the data. But if you just keep hitting clear, you can get that data. Like sometimes you look like that, you just hit clear, you get the data back. So just keep that in mind.
So just...
Yeah, that's a big one that confuses people, is they accidentally tap that button.
I prefer to fly in that
Sounds good to me.
That mode.
Okay.
15 to 1 is generally pretty good.
Yeah. And we can change it, so this is bird goes up, bird goes down.
Yep. And we're not going to put necessarily a flight plan in.
No, we're just going VFR to the east. Okay. You can say east or southeast. Southeast is more accurate. We're going to be basically below Wyndham to the southeast, over the racetrack, if you know where that is.
I know where Wyndham. Yeah, I know where Wyndham is. I don't know where.
Racetrack. I meant drag strip. But.
Okay. And we're looking at 3,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000. And like I said, we're 25 miles to the southeast of Bradley. So if they're that low, that far out, there's bigger issues.
Okay. Looking at the transponder, we are currently at 1200. How do I... So it put... touchscreen?
Yes.
Push to ident.
If you want to change...
If I want to change the squawk, do I press the squawk button?
Press the squawk itself.
Oh, squawk itself, okay.
Yeah, and then just type in whatever you want.
Okay. So what is this squawk?
That is just like last. So it was last on 044, so since we were last on VFR and I typed in VFR, that's all I can do now.
Okay. And this is going to give me my local traffic.
ADSB in and out, and then we also can get weather radar and some
interesting.
stars and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. And it actually can connect to your iPad too via Wi-Fi.
Sure.
Alright. You ready?
Nope. Taking mental notes.
Okay, please.
Trying to be, for when time comes that I have to make sure that I know what I'm doing. All right. Are you guys all set with something like that?
Yes. How you doing, Gavin?
I'm doing good.
All right, cool.
And I'm going to try not to forget I put my pen in my face.
Oh yeah. I'll let you know if you ask. I got a pencil here too if you need some.
I have multiple spare whippersnappers in the back.
Nice.
So for procedures here, I get a request to taxi from ground. Do you want to put flight following in through ground as well?
Negative, because once we leave the airspace, we're just going to break right into airwork. So the flight following, they're just going to, it's not going to work for them. So what we have to tell them, though, is we are going to the southeast on ground. They want to know our direction of flight.
Okay.
So an example call would be like Brainerd ground, Seneca 852 Alpha Tango. We're at the Hartford Jet Center. This vicinity is the Hartford Jet Center ramp. With information, Romeo. Do you want me to stop?
Yep. Where is my call sign?
Your call sign's right here. So.
There it is.
Yep. With information, Romeo, ready to taxi 20 for a southeast departure. And that would be the example call. That is the call that we're going to give them. They just need to hear that end to end, like, where are you going? Where are you? What do you have? Who are you? And if you don't repeat back the runway on your read back, they will let you know. So you just got to repeat it exactly how they want it. It's a training airport. They take things a little seriously, so bear with them. And fuel's looking good. We have well more than 2 hours worth of fuel on board.
So the Seminole was 852 November Delta.
Okay. So we're 852 Alpha Tango. So if you say
Alpha
November Delta, I'll let you know.
And I'm going to try not to say Seminole.
Seneca.
Yep.
And Seneca, if you need to know, is a PA 34-200. Okay?
I'm trying to join for the Wi-Fi.
Yep, it should be the tail number, yep.
Okay.
Correct, sir. It might need to get in the air before it actually connects you. I don't know if the signal's jammed down here with all the other frequencies, but we'll see. Alright.
21.6. 196.
So you are speaking with ground.
So up ground tower in the back.
Yep.
And I would typically put the right station in, but since we're not going to use it today, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, this is the ATIS for Oxford, and this is the ATIS for Hartford.
Is there a way to adjust my Vox?
Your volume or of me?
No, not the volume, just the Vox. Because you see how
The feedback?
You
Yeah,
get, well, no, not the feedback, but
Squelch.
every now and then when I'm talking, you don't get the whole thing.
Yeah, we call that squelch. That's
Okay.
that's going to be our outer knob. So
Outer
this
knob.
is you. So here, just play around with that and try speaking. Check.
Check. Yeah, that seems a little
Yeah.
better.
So you're making it, but sometimes when we go too fast, the ambient noise, if you're all the way over, it'll be too
And
sensitive.
it'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. You call it Vox in the military?
I don't know what we have. Push to talk on the top.
Correct. You
Trim-
see the button right
trim
there.
switch.
Yeah, trim switch, it's disconnected. Auto trim and autopilot are disconnected in this plane.
Okay.
Okay.
Hand fly. Hand fly.
Hand fly.
Old-fashioned
Easy.
way.
3 green. You got a question?
No, I said old-fashioned way.
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned. Yes.
Great. And checklist, because you're missing one item before we get rolling. But you can do the call first. Just please do not forget this right fuel sector.
No,
A lot of times people, they get rolling because they got their clearance and they don't do it. So sometimes I'll just do it prior to calling because then I don't forget. See how it comes like brake test and then fuel sector, left on, right crossfeed? A lot of people forget to do that. So in theory, you didn't test your right crossfeed.
Yeah. All right, bringing left back to on, right to crossfeed. Generally, what is the time frame that you would run those?
Probably in about 15 to 20 seconds. If the engine cut out, you'd know there's a problem.
Sure.
Okay. And let's say I got rolling and I forgot. If I get all the way to the run up, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just flip both to crossfeed and I'll just sit for a little bit. But, you know, it's just to make sure.
I'm gonna do some cheat
Okay.
because I should have this out anyway.
Yeah, I checked for NOTAMs and TFRs and didn't see anything.
It's making sure I know where to taxi to.
Excellent. So they're probably going to give us Hotel Alpha to 20. Now, why Alpha? Because our run-up area is on the left side of the hold short. So if you need to run up, which we do, we're just going to do Hotel Alpha, turn left into the run-up area, and then contact tower when we're ready to take off. That makes sense.
Hotel Alpha into the run-up.
Yeah, so it'll be right out of here, a left, and then into that run-up area until we're ready, and then we'll go back to 20.
Back to via Alpha Hotel.
Via Alpha, and then, yeah, you'll be sitting right there on the left of Hotel right there.
Yeah. So I don't actually have it on this one, but the Oxford has ILS.
Critical area, yep. We don't have an ILS.
Right. But that is the ILS hold short?
Correct.
If somebody was coming in on the approach?
Only if tower tells you you have to hold short.
Okay.
They'll give you a clearance for that. Yep.
Alright.
Otherwise, you're good.
I'm up on ground.
Correct.
But I don't have, because this is on one.
You're talking and listening, yep.
Ground, Seneca 852 Alpha Tango.
Just give him a quick sec.
Yeah.
Seneca 852 Alpha Tango, bring the ground.
Ground, Seneca 852 Alpha Tango. We're ready to taxi with information Romeo. We're going to be departing to the east VFR, maintaining altitude 3,000 to 6,000 for the working area.
Seneca 2 Alpha Tango, roger, say parking location.
2 Alpha Tango is at the Hartford Jet Center right now. We're just looking at taxi 20 for the practice here.
Seneca 2 Alpha Tango, roger, runway 20, taxi via Hotel Alpha if you need the run.
Taxi Hotel Alpha for the run up for 20 852 Alpha Tango.
Awesome. Great job. Yeah, see,
I should have recognized the fact that
ground,
I had no clue where I was parked.
I think he just gets a little confused. The 3 to 6,000, normally people don't go that far, but honestly, great job.
Cessna 6193,
And
Bravo,
let's start rolling. He's expecting us to move.
I'm parked in front of total aircraft.
So,
looking
thumb
to
under.
departure.
Thumb under.
Romeo.
Yep, yes sir. Great job.
Fuel selectors, we're going to go back to normal. And
We'll give it a little break.
clear
Cessna
left.
6193, Bravo, runway 20, taxi via Delta Alpha Hotel.
Taxi via
My controls,
Delta
brakes, your controls.
Alpha Hotel 6193 Bravo.
Awesome. My brakes are good. Your controls, sir.
Alright, controls.
Your controls.
And come and use your right.
Yes, sir. Or window. Awesome.
Windscreen slightly scratched.
Yeah, just a little bit. Guy almost walked back.
He almost walked out.
Yeah, the instructor grabbed his shirt.
Oh, no. I don't believe I actually missed that.
Yeah.
Alright, hot zone. Clear left. Coming right. Clear.
Excellent. So you see that left turn we're going to make? So
Yep.
once you cross the hold short, straight goes to the runway, left goes to the runway.
Yeah, we'll go left.
Yeah.
My mirror's not very good.
It could just because of the sun position. Once you're either in a shadow or not, my mirror's fantastic over here, so. The good thing is at night, all you need to do is see the light of the landing light because they're attached, so. Pretty good. Excellent. And just give yourself a little bit of distance. You don't need to go all the way down, but if you make a nice right here and then hug straight to the wall, you can make a pretty sharp turn. I would turn now. No need to go too far down. Just make sure you get nice and tight to the wall, because once you turn, you don't want to go back into the taxiway.
Sure.
Brandon ground 2510 X-ray is clear of the active. We're going to the T's.
Saratoga 2510 X-ray, Brandon ground, takes to park via Alpha Charlie.
Great job. And let's just
Alpha
turn
Charlie
it to
to
face
the
the jet
T's,
center.
10X.
Oh, that gray building?
Yeah, I do a little. Yeah, that was. That's good. I grabbed too much company this morning.
So, parking brake. On. Field selectors are verified on. About 230.
Sir?
Does this slave? This should be the slave switch, right? Or
It's
is
not
that
connected. I don't think there is a slave. It used to be with a HSI that was in here, but then it just got downgraded to POR. I think that actually has to do with ADSB system.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
marker beacon.
This is our ELT.
The
Yep.
Because we're close to idle. So the only bad thing is I can't actually see the stripes.
Yeah. Fortunate. Makes you feel any better. I can see that just fine. It's the blue line that I have a tough time seeing unless I like lean over. But I know where it is.
I mean, that is difficult to see.
Yeah. I know where it is though. But you can see it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
105.
Yes, sir. Alright, run up. Yep.
Mixture's going full forward. And trim is set. So brakes should be on. We're going to come up to 2,000. Alright, there's 2,000. I don't like manifold pressure buried right there.
Yeah, you can just move together. It's either the throttles or the manifold pressure will be varied, so I just do like that. You just kind of learn the hand formation.
So it is 2,000 on the manifold, right?
2,000 on the RPM.
It
So
is-
you're
it is
basically
a-
right there, yeah.
Alright, so then gonna do the propeller. Look for a drop of 200 to 300, 1 to 3 seconds. Gonna do left, then right.
Yep.
Left 3 times.
Yep, so go all the way back. There you go. Yeah. So you don't need to let it drop that hard.
Sure, yep. I was a little slow.
Back. Excellent. And so on that first drop, you look for the drop in RPM, rise in
Rise
manifold.
manifold pressure.
Second drop, look for a wiggle in the oil pressure, and then third, I just look for splatter out the front and get the oil seals broken in the front. Looks pretty good, and I saw the oil pressure wiggle on that side.
And right engine.
Right engine, yep. Drop in RPM, rise in manifold.
Manifold pressure.
Happens a little slower, but that's normal. And then I'm looking for the oil pressure wiggle. I saw that wiggle there. And I don't see any splatter out the front. Looks dry.
This one is kind of difficult to see.
It is, but you know, timing wise, like I look and I
Yeah.
look and
You
as
can
long as
see
I
it
see it go back,
Come back, yeah.
yeah, we know
Okay.
something's happened.
Throttles both to, and this is where we do the propeller or the governor check.
That's where you could do the governor check. Now we could do the governor check, and
Can we?
yeah. So, what you want to try it, or
Yeah.
do you want me to just show you?
Well,
I'll show
yeah,
you.
show me.
Okay, so basically what I like to start by doing is we're obviously not trying to ride manifold over prop, manifold higher than RPM speed because that can overstress the governor. But for this one moment, what we're going to do is we're basically going to bring back the propellers until they engage. And we'll hear them engage because we'll see the RPM start to drop. So somewhere right around here, should start to see them engage. Got to go quite far back because obviously we're not in the full range of the propeller. And right about there, I'm starting to hear them engage. And what I want to see is once I push this manifold forward a couple of inches, 1 to 5 inches, we should see it stay steady. We don't want to see it increase too much more. So it looked like it increased about an inch on the right, but my guess is because it's probably not close to that 20 manifold. So let's try and put this back to where it was. So right about there. Bring us back a little bit. So I see a slight increase.
Yep.
But otherwise, looking pretty good. That's a pretty high amount of manifold there. So that would prove that the governor is governing. Granted, within about 100 RPM, but it's governing nonetheless.
Mags check.
Yeah, mags check. We'll start left side left, and we'll go one off, one on, all the way over.
Alright, and left off. And on. Left engine right mag off. About the same.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Back on.
I mean, they're 4 brand new mags. They really should be.
And right engine left mag off. And back on. Right engine right mag off. Within 75, coming back on. Mags
good.
check good. And now coming to idle. Back to 1,000.
Yes, sir.
So I noticed that we didn't do any like, is it carb heat?
Alternate air.
Well, this is alternate air.
Correct.
So no carb heat.
Well, it happens on step number 25.
25.
Yeah, so we got to magnetos, and then you did not the alternator test. So the alternator test, just because they're not coincident with each other, I turned the left one off. Yep. And you'll notice that the load goes to the right, and we still maintain 14 voltage, so that just proves that both are working, even if you see it preferring one. And I turn the other one back on, and that's just an alternator check. And now we go to alternator air,
So
so the throttle should remain at 2,000. Yep.
To do it. So I'll bring it back up.
All right, thank you. You catch that, Gib? Okay, cool. And how do you know that the alternate air is going to work? What should happen?
Should get a slight decrease.
Yeah, because hot air, less dense, right? So out and down. So it's, pull out and then down. So when you bring them back, you should see an increase, or at least hear the sound difference.
That's going to get a little getting used to, because I'm used to just sliding.
I know. The cowl flaps work kind of like that. They have a little locking mechanism, so. Yeah, somebody punched that and broke the plastic. I was pretty upset at them that day. They went like this, and I don't know how they did it, but they grabbed the plastic and cracked it.
And
ridiculous, man.
Do you check it with them on going to idle?
You can do that if you want. I don't typically, but I understand why you would.
I do it all the time.
All right.
Just because I want to make sure that it's going to be able to handle being at idle with it on. Back to 1,000.
Does it pass your test? Nice. And get stuck on the plastic. Cool. Awesome.
So we want more than just the fin light on, right, for anti-collision?
Yeah, I typically will do wing strobes, and then you can do the landing lights for takeoff. At daytime, it's really not necessary. Remember, as soon as you put your gear up, the landing light is going to go into the bay, so it's going to be useless to leave it on.
No kidding.
Yeah. So you need the landing gear down to have the landing light on. That makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It complete sense.
Yeah.
I really didn't think about that.
Some people, they'll just leave it on. They're like, I'll just leave it on the whole flight. Why not? And I'm like, well, nobody can see it, so...
Yeah, it's hidden, so...
Yeah.
Really, as soon as you do gear up, it should be light off.
Yeah, correct. I do that with the pumps lights and fuel pumps off. But again, they're LEDs, so there's no harm.
2 separate landing lights.
Yes.
And do you typically do nav lights?
Nav lights I'll do at sunset. We could put them on, but there's no point.
Well,
we can't put them on because of the dim. Yes.
It does dim those.
Forgot about that.
Can you turn it on for me so I could experience that? I already see it. Oh, look at that, man. Yeah.
Sure. So now we know why it's in the emergency gear extension checklist.
Nav lights night only. Okay. Fuel pumps. We'll go through the before takeoff checks. Fuel pressure there. Pressure. So it doesn't actually provide more additional pressure.
not at this low setting. It's really just the fuel pump's main role is priming. Priming, and if the engine-driven fuel pump fails. But if that engine-driven fuel pump fails, if you can safely land it on one engine, safely land it on one engine. Like,
sure.
You know what I mean?
The directional gyro set mixtures and props are full forward power. We'll bring it up to, once we get clearance to take off, we'll bring it up to full power to take off. We should see it in the manifold pressure.
Probably going to be around
30.
27 to 30. It's depending on the pressure outside.
And then we should see, we're in around 26 to 2700 RPM.
Yeah, and remember, these gauges, they're not like 100% calibrated, so sound is going to be your primary sync device, right? Yeah, you should see about 25 to 26 to 27. I think this one's going to be about 27. This will probably be 26 and a half. Now, another thing is, when you get going, I like to go up to 2,000, kind of let them semi-spool up, and then push it to full when I release the brakes. Otherwise, it's like, you could, if you have any imbalances, it could start to pull to either side. So I kind of let them spool a little bit and then go. On the short field, I'll go full power and release, but we're sitting there a second waiting for it to fully spool up.
Should paint this black.
Yeah.
Get rid of the glare.
Yeah, I'll ask my boss if I can do that.
Burner ground, November 356, Echo Sierra on Charlie. Looking to taxi back to the ramp.
So we'll full power. We're looking for 85 for rotation, and then we'll climb out at 105.
Over the Premier.
But for a takeoff brief.
November 356, Echo Sierra, Roger. Taxi park via Charlie, Juliet, Delta.
Taxi via Charlie, Juliet, and then Delta, November 356, Echo Sierra.
Alright, cool.
So if we have any issue after we go to full power that causes us to need to abort, we'll bring the throttles. I often call these PCLs, power control levers, but we'll bring the throttles to idle and brake as required and maintain the runway. We'll stop and discuss any issues and then communicate with tower as far as our intentions if we have to taxi back or if we can continue. If we have an issue once we rotate and the gear handle is down and we have a malfunction, we'll put it down on the remaining portion end of the runway, and if any issues with the gear handle up, we'll take flying.
Correct. And the gear handle up and down is determined by remaining runway or viability of land. If we're just going to miss the end of the runway, I'd rather do that.
Flip it up and go?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the area, so I couldn't tell you what the best course of action as far as if there's a right turn, a left turn, or straight forward.
We're going to be taking a slight left turn, basically staying over the river, but we're going to end the turn basically pointing southeast at about a 160 heading.
Okay.
Bravo.
If we get an actual emergency, I'll hand controls over to you.
Absolutely. Depending on what it is, if it's in the air, we'll probably end up just returning to land, either left or right pattern, and then if it's, shortly after takeoff, I'll probably already be grabbing it.
Okay.
Telling you.
I just wanted to make sure that
We're good.
on the same page that I'm going to hand them to you.
Absolutely. You're handing it to me.
As you're going to you'll probably claim them anyway, but
Yes.
Taxi parking via Alpha Delta 2476 Mike.
We can pull, if you want to pull up a bit close to the left, out of the run-up area.
So you don't want to, we don't have to call ground again?
No, we're good.
Okay.
As long as we're on this side of the double line, we're good. They're expecting us to pull up and call. I know some airports, they do want you to call again. We're good to go.
I was going to call again just right before you started talking.
No, you're it's a good idea, but here they just are a little different. So, yeah, they kind of want you to.
Sure. All right, coming forward. Brakes.
Just lift up a little.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. You could do that. Snap the 52.
Well, no, I was trying to figure out
You're good.
the best angle that I could there and work it.
Or cook.
Break.
I'm off.
Yeah. It's just a matter of...
And over to the left there,
Yeah.
just because this is a bi-directional taxiway. So
Oh, it is
I kind of
okay.
keep it more to the left. They're cool with that. Nice. Right about here.
Rainer Tower, Light Star 1 is lifting Hartford Hospital, southwestbound to Romeo.
I'll close this door when we get going.
Course crew, wind 19010, Gus 15, altimeter 3026.
3026, Light Star 1.
Tower Seneca 852 Alpha Tango, number 1 holding short 20, ready for takeoff with Romeo.
Verify 12 Tango, Brand Tower, runway 20 clear for takeoff, 11909, Gus 15. What's your direction of flight?
Southeast.
852 Alpha Tango, clear for takeoff. Direction of flight will be to VFR to the east.
Bridge requested, left turn.
Left turn 2
I'm going to have to get used to that aspect.
Yeah, they do
Clear
kind
left.
of. Looking good. Yeah, just try and go a little straight. Yeah, you can make a pretty sharp turn with the asymmetry thrust, so. Nice. Yes. Good one.
Alright. Gauges instruments check good. Are coming in. That makes released. Airspace live. 85, rotate. Okay. And usual runway gear coming out.
Looking good. Let's look for that 105. Looking good, man.
Oh, this handle's so different.
Oh, yeah. It handles like a semi-truck. Awesome.
I just work on my pitch.
There you go. Well, you're at 500 feet, so if you want to reduce the power to 25 squared, it'll slow things down for us.
Chunk it.
There you go. You see how it's a bit squishy up top?
Right downwind 20,
There you go.
report midfield.
I'll just make sure those manifolds are consistent.
Right down midfield for runway 20.
Yeah, take your time.
So, left needs to come back.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere there.
There you go.
Props.
And a little tap. There you go. You hear that sound change?
Nope.
Sound to 25. Looking good. You can make that left turn whenever you want. Just a slight left to like a 150.
Sure.
Nice job, man.
Yeah, my airspeed's all over the place.
Yeah, you did drop the nose a little bit, but you're right back at 105.
I was.
It's good. And feel free to use the trim. I mean, it is pretty smooth.
Miles setting up for right downwind at 1,800 feet.
Pretty smooth.
Setting a single engine.
Yeah.
Light Star 1's looking for traffic.
Awesome.
1 Delta Juliet traffic, sit you 1 o'clock, 3 miles southwestbound, 1,500 a med flight helicopter.
These guys. Oh. Crazy.
Traffic 181 Delta.
Alright, we'll see if we can get to some smooth air up here. Yeah, 120 is a nice cruising speed, and typically that's done with about 18 inches manifold, and then, you might need to sync up your props a little bit. I think your left is a little high. There you go. Nice. You should have a little twist towards you with the wrist. There you go.
Roger.
Nice, right about 1,500, climbing, looking nice, 500 foot.
The sight picture is going to take me a lot to get used to.
Yeah, I do agree. It is a little different from the Seminole.
Oh, I had it.
Nice, and you even know to do this prop sync. So what he's doing right now, Gavin, is that we don't have a prop sync, so he has to manually sync the two props using the sound. He's trying to get rid of the propeller beat.
Okay.
Pretty good. We look to be all clear. We're still just reaching the top of the airspace going out to the east.
Yep, and I'm rocking it like a baby.
Nah, you're good, man. It's a new plane. We'll be going over the Hartford VOR in just a bit. And yeah, just keep climbing it up. gear is up, and we have nothing in the mirror either.
Nope.
One thing I would ask is turn the fuel pumps off one at a time.
Yeah.
And one at a time. And you know why we do that? Because if you mistake that for the magnetos, we want to be doing one at a time. Let's just say that. Okay.
Airspeed.
Looking good.
Want to be climbing a 105. Once we level off, then it's
Yeah, we can check what 3,000 looks like. If it, is too bad for us, we can go higher until we get to calmer air. But remember, 3 to 4 to 5, depending on what we feel is good for us today, is what we'll have to do the VMC at. We can't do lower than 3 for those. For anything, actually.
I feel like I just turned left and went, I'm just sending it.
Yeah.
Not really knowing where I'm going.
We're just going to try and get into this basically triangle here. So Salmon River there, it's a grass strip. That's kind of like my indicator of I'm far enough away from the airspace. Between the Hartford Jet Center and Salmon River, there's too much in and outbound traffic, so we don't like to start maneuvers there. But this is Wyndham. Basically, their triangle that we're looking to... Thank you for flight. Our triangle that we're looking to fly in is around there. That makes sense to you.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I've flown into Wyndham single engine. Not a single engine, multi-engine, but
It's a tough airport. It's a nice little airport too. I like it. Did you use the short runway or did you use 27?
I've used both.
27's like a wind tunnel, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Awesome. So we're just exiting the boundaries of the airspace. We're well above it, and let's try 3.5. That looks good. It's getting a little smoother. So all you'll have to do is pull the power back to about 20, 18, depending on what your props
to
have.
24.
You can do that. So props to 24, it is the proper way to do it. When you're training for the maneuvers and you're just like trying to slow the plane down, difference between 24 and 25, it's not going to be a whole lot. It's one less step if it's tough for you, but if you want to do that, that is the proper way. Now we're clear for 6 miles on ADSB. We will have a couple people cross in front of us, but we're a little ahead. So that looks good.
Touch and go right turn, also approved.
Touch and go and right turn, approved 181, altitude.
Alright, whenever you feel good on that, there's no point in wasting time. We're going to be flying a straight line for now. So feel free to bug your heading, and I'll let you know if there's any traffic. Our next guy is about 6 miles out, and I'll keep a visual outside. So let's talk about slow flight. What kind of configuration do you think slow flight would be in?
Landing configuration.
Landing configuration, okay, and that includes full flaps and gear down.
Yep.
We'll also be slowing down to about 80 miles an hour. So pitch is going to control your airspeed, and power will control your altitude. The way that I like to configure for this is I like to go first flaps in, and then gear, and then flaps 2 and flaps 3. The reason is it matches the V speeds. A slight power reduction may help, but generally you're adding in a lot of drag. And I'm going to have you make a slight left turn here just to avoid this guy. He's going to cross in front of us.
Clear left.
Yeah, let's go to...
left.
Yeah, we'll call it a 0... For you, it's going to be a 090, but it looks a little non-consistent. I'd say our ground track's probably going to be 090. There we go, that's good. Yeah, we got off this course. Cool. Awesome, we can hold here.
That can count as a clearing turn.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Need to remember to reference that.
We won't turn too much more than this. The wind's kind of keeping us off of Hartford, but I want to get out of their little transitory area here.
Okay. And coming back to easy right?
Yeah.
To get to
just as long as
090.
we don't intercept this guy. But he should be good.
Government side?
Awesome, we can use... You have him in sight?
Oh, no, government side.
I was going to say, he's pretty far away. He's like 4 miles away. Through the haze, tough. Okay, cool. So...
Alright, below 150, gear coming down?
Let's do flaps 1 first. And it's just because the V speed for flaps 1 is 160. Yes.
Yeah.
They're
about the same.
Thank you, Gavin.
Notch 1.
Notch 1, and now if you want to do gear, you can do gear.
And below 150, gear coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 green.
And 1 in the mirror.
Yep, I got none in the mirror. But
1, you mean?
nope. I mean, yeah, I guess you can kind of make it out. It's very
I got it.
You get used to it. Okay, cool.
shiny. I can't almost see through it.
I bet you if we faced the other way and the sun wasn't in that direction, you would see it. The sun's at a bad angle for you.
Sure.
Alright.
And that's 105, below
Takeoff, wind 2006, gust to 17.
140, second notch flaps.
Runway 20 left hand out of 30.
You're doing a great job.
Let it stabilize. Did he bleed off?
You're good. Yeah, you're already below your VFE for
Yep.
flaps 3, so.
And flaps 3.
Nice job. And so we're looking to hover around the red line. Now, one thing you are missing is the props full forward and the fuel pumps on. And that's going to just finish up the landing configuration for you, but the props full forward is going to affect your drag as well. So that's a one that you're not going to want to forget. So, yeah, it's your mixtures and then props full forward.
Yeah, both full forward.
Yeah, no point in not checking, right?
No.
Do them at the same time, please.
Okay.
Because you don't want to create an asymmetry of thrust.
Okay. Same time.
There you go.
The Juliet, say again, please.
Nice. And so then you just control your throttle.
So I got to make sure that I remember to do a clearing turns, gumps, down check.
Yeah, and once you do the first clearing turns, he is pretty generous about it, just because of the ADSB and where you're going to be.
Sure.
So it's not like he's going to scream at you for clearing turns, but a courtesy clearing turn before you start your maneuvers is great. I was planning to do this in a straight line, but whatever works. So keep it just at about 80. And if you need to stop yourself from descending, although it looks like you have a little bit of energy in your airspeed,
yeah.
I would keep your hand on the throttle. Because your throttle is going to be your direct impact on vertical speed, and your pitch is direct impact on power. Alright, any questions? Looks pretty good. Let's get a level right turn to heading 150.
150.
Nice. Drop that nose. Dropping. Good. And I see a small decline in altitude here, so how are we going to correct that?
I did add power.
Very good. Yeah, and Gavin, he's just manipulating his pitch to make sure that any increase in power doesn't go into airspeed.
Okay.
Awesome, and then you rolled out of the bank, so once he corrects this altitude loss, he's probably going to bring back that power.
Yep.
We're still clear on traffic, it's looking good. Awesome. I'm going to have you climb another 500 feet in slow flight. So you can stay on a straight line here, 150, and just give us full power here, and he's going to start pitching up, just slightly. And it's going to lock in his airspeed at 80, and we're going to climb up to 500. Now 10% of your vertical climb rate is when you're going to pull that power out, so don't pitch up too much.
Nope.
Is when you're going to pull that power out to stop your climb. So if you're climbing about, call it 700 feet a minute, I would say about 70 feet prior to top of climb at 4,000, that's when you'll pull the power back. Right around, somewhere around here. Okay. Pull it back to, where were we at, like 20? Maybe a little less. Reacted even faster than I thought. Sorry about that. Looks pretty good to me. Well, anyway, I'll let you, you want to either do it, it doesn't matter, the power off stall doesn't really have an altitude per se, but we're in landing configuration.
Yep.
The only other maneuver we have that's power off, that's landing is power off stall, and all that is pull the power, pitch for the horizon, you lose the airspeed at our first indication, full power, drop the nose, keep the wings level,
Right.
and then get rid of flaps 45.
There's 90.
Yep.
Power's coming back. Work on the pitch.
We're just trying to bleed off that speed, so your power comes all the way out.
Well, yeah, I was trying to get a 500 per minute descent rate going first.
Yeah, if you pitch for 90 when you're at level 80, it'll go right to 5.
Yep. And now nose on horizon.
Okay. Good, there you
And
go.
recover.
Drop the nose, full power. Keep that nose low.
Oh.
Yeah, it has a real kick up when you add power. And what I need you to do is drop the flaps 40. So up, press the button, and then down one notch. There you go.
And then wait for positive rate of climb.
Correct.
Nose up a little bit more. Positive rate gear coming up.
There. And then hold that 105 as you reduce these flaps. You're going to lose a lot of drag, so you're going to have a tendency to speed up. Try and increase pitch with that reduction of the last 2 flaps to keep it at 105. There you go. Especially with this last one, people want to speed up a lot. Very nice. That looked good. So probably the biggest comment I'd say is just timing of getting rid of that flaps 40. You know, add the power to full, keep the nose down, and go straight with your hand from the throttle to the flaps and get the flaps to 25. Because flaps 40 is really just all drag, right?
Yep.
So get rid of that flaps 40 in the drop, and then you're ready to start pitching up. Best rate of climb, and I don't know if you saw this in the POH, best rate of climb with the gear down is about, I think it's like, what they say, 92 calibrated airspeed, 92 or 98, one of those. So you could start pitching up to try and gain altitude around the 90s. You don't even need to wait to speed up to 105. And then, like you said, wait for positive rate. You did a great job with that. Gear up, flaps 2, and then flaps 3.
And then boost pump off.
Yeah, sure.
And boost pump off.
Must be over an open field, hitting a little bit of turbulence. Anyway, do you want to try that again, or how are you feeling with that? Feeling good?
I mean, procedurally, I'm okay. I just need more time in the aircraft, getting used to how she handles.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if you wanted to try it again, but if not, you're good. So that goes off because you're low manifold pressure.
Below 14.
Sir. Okay, so cool. Looks pretty good. Looks like, you know, there's a lake down here. We might be getting over more turbulent ground stuff. But, yeah. Just trying to figure out where.
120. And at 4,000. Probably come to the right.
Yeah, if you want to either come to the right, as long as you stay away from Groton, it's a little to our south, but we're right in the middle of the practice area. It's just we're over the lake. It's making your turbulence a lot worse, so. Yeah, so we did power off. If you want another shot at that, let me know, but we're going to move on then if you don't. So power on can be a bit intense in this one. We actually do use a little bit of a faster speed, but we also use about 20 degrees of bank to help induce that stall, just so the plane doesn't get too vertical.
Right. We'll use this as a clearing turn and then slow down to 85.
Yes, but we're actually going to do it at 120. The only reason is because we're doing it to the horn, not to the full brake. The full brake, we would go to 85. If we're at 85 and we pitch up really quick, you're just going to get the horn right away. And it's like that. So if we use 120, we're going to be able to pitch up to about 20 to 25 degrees. And then we're going to use 20 degrees of bank when we do this. So the good news for you is there's no heading to hold because we'll be moving the whole time.
Well, doing that puts everything right where it needs to be.
Yes. So we're just looking for the horn. Now, before you push the throttle forward, instead of going to full, go to 23 because now I can see you move that last inch of manifold to know that you're actually pushing the throttle to full.
So
your throttles aren't synced.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good.
Okay, so.
And these are full forward? Gotta have those full forward.
Yeah, well, I touched them and then you started talking, so I was like,
oh, sorry about that.
So I held off doing something with them.
Oh,
so now 23?
And 1220 south gust to 13.
Yeah, 23 to start, and then you'll push it to full on the recovery.
Yep.
So bank over 20 degrees and try not to pitch up much more than 25. You will need to get it fairly steep, but it won't need to be crazy. This is looking pretty good. So you're going to start to feel the nose want to drop and just pull back into that. Let's get pretty vertical. There you go. Cover. Push the nose, full power. Try and gain that speed back and try not to pitch up until you get closer to 105. Excellent. And then I just finished the maneuver, climbing out at 105. Looking good.
Level.
That was great.
Power back.
Uh-huh.
Throttle back.
I like it.
Fuel pumps off.
Yeah, that felt really good.
Still climbing.
Alright, cool.
Technically I'm back to 120, but which is generally where we are when we're maneuvering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice, safe traveling speed, maneuvering speed. Okay, so the next maneuver that we're looking for is accelerated stall. An accelerated stall is pretty much banking over to 45 degrees. We have a nice 45-degree line here, the inside white line.
We don't need fuel pumps, and we don't need mixtures and props. Those are all stay the same.
Yeah, but let's keep them full forward, though. Is that what you meant? Clean configuration.
Clean configuration.
Yeah.
Just your cheat sheet didn't have gumps written in there, so I figured that everything was just as it was before.
I apologize.
No,
do gumps, please. Gumps up. Thank you. Yeah, otherwise known as clean configuration. We do have a guy coming in from the left. He has 15 below. We'll probably end up doing this maneuver to the right.
Take 481 right at Josh.
Okay.
5,120.
Yeah, that's fine. This guy's about 1,000 below
you
us.
said to the right, right?
Yeah, just to avoid this guy.
No, that's fine. I looked left, was getting ready to go left.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So
left,
40
right, clear right.
Correct. And let's start at 105 for me, if you could.
Oh.
So we're going to slow down to 105. Don't be afraid of hearing the horn. That's fine. It creates the drag. Keep the nose up, and that'll slow us up. Now, once we get to 105...
speed change.
Yeah, once we get to 105, you're going to go to 17 inches manifold for the maneuver. Bank over to 45. Pop. You hear the stall horn. Release the pressure. And then you roll out while adding the power. And I add the power once I roll out past 30. The idea is we don't want the power to kick us back into a load factor.
Fairly well trimmed. About 105. Clear right.
Clear right.
And come on right.
Nice. Just keep it rolling in.
On an 18.
Yep, keep rolling in. Rolling in. Keep it going. So orange on the line there. And then you pop. There you go.
And recover.
Release. And now add the power on the way out.
12766 left turn.
There you go.
120 clear for takeoff. 122011 gust to 17.
Clear takeoff at 120.
Positive rate.
That looked pretty good. I would be a little bit more aggressive about rolling in, because the one thing that could mess you up on this is losing enough airspeed where you're blurring the line between accelerated stall and aerodynamic, like regular airspeed stall.
Yeah, I'm having personally.
Yep.
I'm having an issue with that being down there.
It'll get easier. I know it is hard. I agree with you. That's a tough place for a manifold.
All right, let's do that one again.
Okay.
Because I can. Let's bug the heading. Gumps check full forward. I never actually put those back. And slow down to 105. There goes my altitude. Right one slightly ahead, right one slightly ahead. All right.
Clear to me.
Yeah, I was trying to get back onto 5,000 just to be there, but...
Yeah, so start at blue line. You want to start at blue line and end at blue line.
Come on. Alright, clear right. Clear left, coming right.
Yeah, you could probably use a little bit of rudder here. There you go. Bank that in. There you go. And now let out the back pressure, roll it out. Nice job. Looking good. Yeah, you had a little bit of nose down there on the rollout, so it went into speed, but otherwise, phenomenal. And that's one of the main things, is we're not waiting for the plane to let the stall catch up, because what does that mean? It means you're losing speed or you're slowly pitching up. We're trying to induce the accelerated stall, release the accelerated stall, and recover, and that's why it's different than a regular stall. Okay.
Oh.
Feel good on that, or?
Yeah, no, I'm still getting used to the... Because the Seminole, it was the other way.
But at least you know it was a thing.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You didn't seem as shocked as most people when they're like, what do you mean they're not perfect?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring these back to 24.
You learning?
Yes, sir. Watching.
Technically, these need to be at 20.
Nice and cool up here today.
I know that.
Alright.
So that was everything shy of VMC demo.
And the steep turns.
And steep, let's do steep turns.
You want to do steep turns?
Oh yeah.
Sounds good to me. Our fuel is at the perfect amount for this. We're doing really good on the fuel. Oh, sorry.
Steep turns are my nemesis.
Okay.
And so steep turns is the first one. So that was my issue.
It is his first one.
Well,
did you read a gouge on him or something? Or did I send you a gouge?
No, just in the packet.
Yeah,
it has the description, and the steep turns was the first one. And I said, I think I was talking to you earlier where I said that we don't have to do any of this. Steep turns is the one that we don't have to do anything. You run it at 120, and at 24 and 20.
Now I do like to run the mixture a little lean. That's a carryover from my training. Is it required in the ACS? It just says proper configuration.
Sure.
But the blue lever does have to be back in the multi. That's part of the steep turn configuration. And I like to have these a little back, and what I do is I use the EGT. So okay. I'll pull them back, not necessarily to peak, but slightly rich at peak where the pendulum's kind of directly across here. And that's usually a good indication for me, just to indicate to me I'm in cruise. But otherwise, this looks pretty good. And whether you want to use 24 or 25, completely up to you. Just recognize 24 is going to have slightly less power.
Noted.
What?
So it's good to have extra power on steep turns.
Yeah, you know. But here, what does that power come with? It comes with extra drag. Because now the prop is going to flatten out more.
Sure.
So it is good to have extra power, but you could do both. You could run it with 25 and just use a little bit less throttle, or you could run 24 and use a little bit more throttle. It's completely up to you.
Okay. We do have one person back to the right.
1500 low, 2 miles out. Yep.
So should be no factor.
Yes. And as far as airspaces are concerned, we're good until we hit the Connecticut River, so looking good.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
It should be right ahead in the haze back here. You see that white silo out there? That's about right on the Connecticut River. The Connecticut River is actually at 12 o'clock, but it turns.
No, I don't. Oh, okay. I think I see it over here.
Yeah.
Where the warehouse.
Oh, the silo, yeah. And then the Connecticut River goes all the way up until we get to Hartford there. So it's kind of like a little boundary for us.
Okay.
Should be good, though.
All right.
All right, so... yeah,
we'll go left first.
Yes. Heading bugged. And so one thing I would make sure that you do, give yourself a little bit of power when you roll in. Right now, you're at about 130, it looks like. We want to sit 120 plus or minus 10. So I have no qualms with you starting at 130 as long as you know that, add the power a little after you roll in so that bleeds down to 120. The load factor should keep you about 120. Typically, it's anywhere from 19 to 21 inches manifold when we're in the turn. Keep us about 120, and that's what we're looking for.
Well, I was at one because I was nose down.
Yeah.
Slightly.
It happens. Yeah, I mean, you're just learning the plane today. No judgment.
All right, clear left, and we'll come left.
Gavin, that's our drag strip down there.
Oh.
There you go. So you're right at about 45 degrees, which is totally acceptable. Technically, the commercial tolerance is a little higher, but you're in the zone.
To the southwest, landing with Sierra.
Looking a tad slow on the airspeed.
Brantano, right down 120, report midfield.
Report midfield, right downwind for 20, 9 o'clock.
90 prior.
He says it's his nemesis, and he's literally shooting laser beams out his eyes.
Nailing it, man. Nailing it.
And there's a roll.
And
you caught it. Thank God for mechanical DGs, right? Nice.
Don't fail me.
So you see where we got the load factor here?
Yep, I'm nose down.
You're too far banked.
I might have caught that.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you saw that.
Stall warning horn.
Yeah. Well, you were about 70 degrees of bank, so. Unfortunately, we're not like a T6, but whatever. Good job.
Going 20, clear for takeoff.
I'm just gonna get my visual.
120, 20, 9 o'clock. 90 prior. 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 90
Thank you, clear.
And roll out. He was using the city. Why don't we use the city next time?
No, I was in the groove of watching everything else.
Yeah, what do you think I would say about that, Gavin? The only thing, too much bank. You had far too much bank on the right side. If you did the right and the left the same, I think you're probably closer to 60, maybe 70 on that bank. But otherwise, great job.
I lost it. So when I came this way, the nose swung down.
And you had to save it, yeah.
And then I was just all in and pulling.
But once you started to pull, you were like, I'm just kept pulling, and I'm like, dude, we're like banking, and that's when the stall warning horn came off.
Yep.
That would be a tad too far for me, but we're already set up. If you want to just give it one more shot.
Sure.
To the right, at least, because I need to see that to the right again for sure. And then we're going to go into BMC, and then I'll start heading back.
Alright, let's get back into parameters.
Yeah, be careful with that speed, because right now I can see the 110 line, and the needle's above it. The higher altitude you go, typically slightly more manifold you'll need.
Well, I'm just low power setting.
Okay.
Which is coming out of that. I didn't do anything. I just pulled power back to not balloon.
We're learning.
Find a good way to hold this thing though. All right, and clear right, and coming right.
Right.
Hold the nose drum. Of course I'm.
66 Raven engine triple. I need direct vectors back to the field for the visual 20, please.
912, understand, coming back to the field, sir. I can enter the left downwind 20.
12767, left downwind runway 20, and we are declaring emergency at this time.
12766, verified position.
Stand by 12766.
766, you over Route 84, sir.
Roll out.
Stay firm, 12766.
Okay, sir, your own discretion. Enter the left base for runway 20, reported 2 mile base, decline an emergency. Can you say the number of people on board and fuel remaining?
Rolled out and ended up going past it.
It's okay, I was listening to the...
I was too.
Tell the nature of the emergency.
Okay.
Engine roughness, engine was about to quit there.
Engine roughness, roger. And the Ellington Airport is actually off your right-hand side, a little closer perhaps, if you're familiar with that.
You say maneuvers complete.
Maneuvers complete? Yeah. No, honestly, it looked good. I think you fixed the initial problem. However, it does look like when we rolled in, maybe we're not using enough rudder, because I think you got to kick up with the pitch. I don't know, maybe try using a tad bit more rudder. Typically, that's what I do if I notice a climb initially. But you know, the real killer is if you start to drop the nose, it takes a lot more pressure to recover that than it does to drop the nose from going up. So just be aware of those pitfalls. But other than that, I mean, those look pretty good. Do you mind if I grab the controls real quick?
Yeah, your
I know we're a little distracted by what's going on, but
I don't have it trimmed up great for you, but
looks good to me. I need it to sync anyway. I'm going to go to mixture full. Again, I'm just trying to get out of the Hartford area. I don't want to get near these guys. Alright. And I'm going to sink it down a little bit. I like to use the drag of the props. If you can put the fuel pumps on for me, left and right, thank you.
Sure, we'll just keep it vocal for now. Let me know if
and we're going to sink it down. Now, I do not want to go over there with the city, but I also don't want to go over there with the lake. I'm trying to look for an area that's going to have relatively consistent ground cooling. Honestly, I think in this track with the field at the end looks pretty ideal, so we'll kind of keep it in track here. And that should keep us away from most of these guys here. That guy's about 59, so we're good.
I need to do a better job of keeping my own personal essay of where I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new terrain for you, so, I mean, we'll get it. Judging where Hartford is, it's usually a good key, but... And of course, now that we sink down into 4,000, it's not quite as smooth, but I'm going to demonstrate a BMC demo, kind of what I want to see, because I can cause us to lose a little bit of direction, but still be demonstrating. I'll do it at a slightly faster speed, just because of our weight. but I am going to get us down to an appropriate altitude here. So right about 4,000. We are giving ourselves more speed. Anybody know what the density altitude is right now? Is that possible? If you can't, could you check the weather for Hartford for me? As long as it's not increased more than like 1,000 above what it was earlier today.
442.
142. So 4,000 should be basically our exact CDA.
So 442 is 56 minutes ago, though.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be right here. So anyway, I'm going to use like a plus 10, and we'll do it at like 37. It looks pretty good here. Okay, so I'm going to level out. Now
plus 10 of 120?
No, plus 10 of 80 for VMC.
Okay, 90.
So about 90 is where I'll simulate losing directional control. Now I'm just going to do it all myself because I'm going to show you what I want the plane's position to look like throughout the maneuver. Granted, cut me a little slack. You know, if we are going over bumps and I do hear a stall horn, I'll just use that as our indication, okay? So the first 3 steps that we're basically going to do, other than configuration, I like to keep a heading, okay? There is no altitude associated with this because obviously you're limiting performance during the maneuver. And if you have turbulence like this, your main goal is just heading and the right kind of setup. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull the left engine to idle. And now I should be doing a little bit of a zero side slip. We have a little bit of bank and a little bit of twist in the yoke. Next thing, after the zero side slip, those are the first 2 steps. I'm going to increase the power in the other engine. Once we're here, my hand is going to stay on the throttle, and what I'd be trying to do is increase to lose just a light bit, 1 mile per hour per second. But a key factor here is I'm going to be increasing the rudder pressure as I lose speed.
Yep.
So we'll just keep it going slow, and it's nice and slow, this entire maneuver. Nice and slow, you can't say. So as we go, let's say I'm getting close to 90, okay? So I'm still on my heading. I'm getting close to 90, and that's I start to lose directional control. So we're going to start to see a loss of directional control. I would pull the power back, aggressively regain the heading and the rudder, and then once I have the plane under control and I'm gaining speed, I'm going to add that power back in, and we're going to finish the maneuver. I know I need to press more rudder, but I'm too banked. We're going to press finish the maneuver on the heading. Yeah, it was tough. It was like holding my wing down, but I need more. So really, we should have that ball split. But
half ball.
There we go, half ball. Yeah. I'm like trying to press the rudder, but it keeps bringing me over, so I need to go less.
Yeah.
But you see, it's like bringing me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need even less bank. I just don't want the rate of turn to like toss me over. And
then you're back to blue line, and then once you're trimmed into blue line, you bring up the engine, left engine back to 120.
Yeah.
Correction tower.
Main thing, stay within 20 degrees of that heading bug.
That's
the ball is, I would say, is more of a feel thing than looking at the ball. That is brand new, so try and stay as close to that as possible. But until we're in smooth weather, I mean, staying right on that line is very, very hard to do. You'll see what I mean. You'll feel out where it feels coordinated, and you'll be able to keep that. But I'm going to let you do one, okay?
Gotcha.
So the turbulence is pretty tough. The main goal is we don't really want to go below 3.5. That's going to not leave us enough ground clearance. But we also really don't want to climb up 1,000 feet here because it's going to make that stall horn happen a lot sooner. But I didn't feel in any danger of a stall. I'm going to start blocking the rudder around 100, but don't worry, I'll be shadowing you here. We're going to try and make a backwards D with the nose of the plane. Okay? Just a small reduction in power. So let's say I'm at max power here with both. We would just do a small reduction in power and then an increase once we have the plane's pitch down and directional under control. And it looks like we're pretty far away from these guys, so this looks like a good line here. Alright, your controls.
Roger, controls.
Your controls, and you're in the proper configuration here.
Fuel pumps on, mixtures, props all full forward.
So we're going to start off with the heading bug and then the first 3 steps.
Yes.
Because I need the heading bug as a DP to be able to see your drift.
How much I'm controlling it.
So,
okay, so bug the heading, which is why just bug the heading because it's the first thing in a lot of maneuvers. So bug heading on everything, bug heading, then gumps, which is fuel pumps on, mixtures, props are all full forward.
Try and say no higher than 4,000.
Okay, no higher than 4,000.
Yeah.
And come in idle on left.
But now you're going to need to initiate that zero side slip as you pull that throttle back. As long as you stay faster than 105, that's good until you're ready to start the rest of the
idle. And full power.
Yep.
Lose my heading bug a little bit.
But you got to press the right rudder. So you weren't splitting the ball, it was all the way to the right. But keep that right rudder pressure in there. There you go.
Well, I was trying to take it out so I could help my turn a little bit.
I know that. I don't think the rudder's the right one. I think honestly use the bank.
Okay.
In this case, there you go. Keep it coordinated.
Sure.
But turn left, right? It's a whole different kind of paradigm of looking at it. Okay, now you got it. And then when you're ready to stay steady, lock it in with the bank. There you go.
And now pitch up.
Yeah, and slowly, right? You don't need to go crazy. Because what's going to happen is if I start to block this rudder, we're going to start to lose directional control, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be your cue. Now, obviously, you're super fast, but just gently pitch up, 1 mile per hour per second.
Easier said than done.
I know. I was in the same boat just a second ago. All right, let's count that as lost directional control, right? So pull that power back just a quarter, drop the nose, regain your heading, establish that zero side slip, and add the power as soon as you feel stable, right? Pitch up for 105 and minimize your loss of altitude. Pretend like you just did that in the traffic pattern.
We're entering the left base, runway 20.
766, runway 20 clear to land, the wind's 2209.
So it should look like a pretty benign maneuver from the outside. I would say just a little bit more right rudder.
Yeah, I'm fighting that.
Yeah, it's tough, especially at this altitude, and I'm sorry for that. But just so you know, this would be leniency from the DP. If they saw this, they'd be like, listen, if you're just keeping the plane upright, you're doing an okay job. Do you know what the tolerance is for left and right on BMC demo for the ACS?
10, isn't it?
It's 20 degrees per
20?
side. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So as long as you don't spin it, you'll probably pass. Now we're going to scissor the throttles back together. Now there's no particular technique that you need. If you just want to bring those together, make sure that the heading bug stays accurate. Yeah, balance those rudders. You'll be good to go. Awesome. So I have a couple key things that I want you to pay attention to when you do it, is just make sure you don't go below 105 until you're telling the DPE, hey, I'm ready to start pitching up now, I'm going to execute the loss of airspeed. Stay above 105 for that split of the throttles. Lastly, you're trying to regain that heading bug at the end of it, and you did a great job balancing the rudders as you were getting out of that, so I have no comment on that. That was good.
I thought it sucked.
It's windy, man. If I saw that performance in calm winds, I'd say maybe. But for the winds that we have today, you did a great job.
Well, clear right coming right?
Clear right. It's a pretty challenging thing to do in heavy winds.
No, but I wasn't, I didn't have the heading bug in my scan, which made it, even more difficult to maintain heading.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, good news is you didn't exceed it. So that was good. Another critical thing that gets people failed on that one, which I've never honestly seen, is they basically start increasing speed to 105, but then go back the other way. And the only way that happens is you either reduce the wrong power or you start pitching up and you don't know it. Both of which you're fine on. You did not do. Alright, so I think on our journey back to Hartford, which is over there, you've earned yourself a reward. So, do you want to know what that reward is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, so we're gonna do an engine shutdown. Okay, I'm not gonna do the engine failure checklist and stuff at 500 feet. Although, if you want to, we could practice that. But really, I'm trying to shut down the engine to give you a chance to fly around on one engine and really feel what that drag is like, so you can get used to it. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do.
Do we have a fire?
I'm going to use engine fire, yeah. We're going to simulate the fuel selector.
Okay.
Okay, only simulate. So you're going to say fuel selector off, simulate it.
By all means, where do we see the flames?
On the right side.
Right side, simulated right off, in the middle, off.
Yes. But now you can do the throttle prop and mixture yourself.
Okay. Throttle on the right.
Pull it all the way out. Remember your zero sides up on the left.
Yep. I'm going to give myself some power.
Keep at least 105.
Check out, that's a left base, runway 20, put 2 miles. I'll keep you updated.
Feather.
All the way. Let's go. Yep. And then pull that right Mixture.
Right mixture.
Yep. Cool, and then go mixture, prop, throttle, full forward.
Mixture props. Throttle's
Nice.
full forward, flaps and gear is up.
Very nice.
Raise the dead.
Yep. And I want you to trim for this speed. Just keep that rudder pressure in there. You don't need quite as much. What I would do is more bank. There you go. Use that horizontal component to lift because we don't need the performance. See, we're at almost 4,000 feet and we can still get a climb. So use that bank. Give up a really strong force.
Sure.
Okay? Now, just do about a 10-degree turn to the right. Just very gentle, because it's going to want to suck you in still to the right. So obviously we're teetering on that edge of it kind of getting to a really intense force, okay? And you use a lot of that rudder to help pull you out, because otherwise it gets pretty strong. Well, my controls, can I show you some real quick? I'm only doing this because it's windy. I don't want you to do it. Normally I would have you do the setup and then I would pull the power out. But let's say, and I'm just basically not going to hold the yoke, but I'm going to hold the rudder pressure in. Let's say we get to a point where it starts to pull us in, and we can't pull out with the flight controls. If you just pull that power, look at which side the plane wants to go back to. Because which side has more drag?
That side.
No, that side.
Oh, because it's feathered.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that is the concept
I don't anticipate it'll be more
of the VMC demo. It's you are just initiating more drag. And so if you get to a point where you can't flight control yourself out of it, the
Just
only thing you can do
power.
is trade power for controlability.
Yep.
Okay?
And of course you are giving altitude to control the aircraft, so.
And that's why it has to be well practiced if you do it at a low altitude, like in the pattern. Right?
Yep.
And you might need to someday. Anyway, let's get this engine started and let's get ourselves back to Hartford, alright?
And fuel is on.
Alright, fuel selector is on.
Mixture's coming for it.
Yep. Do we have a checklist for this, perhaps?
I do.
Maybe an air restart checklist?
You want to go through the checklist?
Yes, sir.
I can read it for you.
No, that's fine. Fuel selector's
Just
on,
pointing us
throttle
towards
1/4.
Yep, and so typically, I mean, I think there used to be a horn, but there it is. It must be, the pad must be bent in there or something. There we go. So there's a horn here. If you just push it to above the horn,
okay,
then that's about a 1/4 inch.
Fuel pumps are off.
Okay.
Mags are on, both. And mixtures full rich. Mixtures full rich. Props are full forward. Ready?
Yep. It's not going to do anything. We don't have an accumulator.
And then starter switch.
And so I'm going to have you do this. So grab controls. You have a little bit of left pressure on the rudder. Now when you hit the starter switch, never cross your hands, right? Keep one hand on the yoke, one hand on the starter, mixtures full forward. And let's try and fly a straight line while holding 120. And you're just going to press down the left side starter. You're on the right. That's, oh, sorry, I'm fucked up. Okay, so your right side starter, yeah.
It's like I'm going to push it forward.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just hold it. Yep. And try and hold that center line, keep holding it. You're good, just hold it. You're good. It just has to unfurl. Now you're good. Now, just focus on holding the center line here with the rudders. It's going to pull you, and then it's going to push you. So yeah, use those rudders. There you go. So that pull that you're feeling is the props grabbing all the air, and then the push is then the drag once the thrust overcomes that drag. Awesome. Just gotta make sure we don't bust an airspace here. Now we should be.
And we lost the Garmin.
Yeah, it does like a little reboot. Should be popping back up anytime. We're on a 270 heading, so we're going direct west. Let's process a little bit. And we'll go to which page?
That's the problem.
Oh! Gavin, you remember which page?
For what?
To get to the map?
Oh, just press the hold on clear.
He's telling you the cheater way. Just hold it down. Clear. Hold on, clear.
Yeah.
Hold it down.
Hold it down?
Yep. So now you're on nav, but go one over.
Oh, you press
small knob.
Small knob.
So go back to nav with the big knob, and then one over the small. There you go. See how you're going through your files? So you're 2 over, you just 1 over. No GPS position, now it's there. And we got the Brainerd airspace in front of us. So they're still landing 2-0. So it might better serve us to go a little bit more north and come in over Rentschler. But we can listen to the ATIS and give them a call whenever you want. Let's see, 12645.
Okay.
It is top of the hour. And they just had an emergency, so they're probably redoing the ATIS. Should be good though. 2645.
Number 77 Golf, you're still monitoring Hartford. The airport is just reopened.
77 Golf, yeah. I will
102.
back
Turn.
as soon as I get
120 to user.
Roger.
Yep. Yeah, you're good. I don't see anybody out here, so.
Oh, we got to get ATIS.
Yeah, we got to press down. It's not receiving. I think because the ATIS is down because they just closed the airport. See what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
The airport is open now.
Yes. I'll give them a call and just ask. How far are we out? It's like 10 miles to the east. Brainerd Tower, Seneca 852 Alpha Tango. We're 10 miles to the east, inbound for landing, but we can't receive the ATIS. Is the airport open?
Verify 2 Alpha Tango, the airport just reopened. Counter left, base runway 20, airport 2 mile base. Wind is 2008, gust to 15, altimeter 3023. Weather is better than 5005.
Left base for 20, and we'll report 2 mile left base for 2 Alpha Tango. Alright, hopefully you said 2. No, so if you see this city right there, so do you see those 2 white buildings?
Yes, the white
The
ones.
big
yep.
ones?
Yep.
They're pointing to Rentschler Stadium. So if you just go in right there, no further north than 84, you'll be good to go for a left base 20. So we're going to start to see 84, the highway over here. So just go just to the right of those 2 white buildings where they kind of point together, and you'll be fine. Not necessarily these ones, but those ones. Yeah. Heading straight towards the city, right 12 o'clock, you'll be fine. What, the gear horn?
Yeah.
Just go slightly above it. Think about it. If you need to lose that much manifold pressure, either go all the way and just do it quickly, or put the gear down because you're probably landing.
All right, before landing checks, make
Brainerd
sure.
information Tango 1753 Zulu observation wind 210 at 10 depth 19. Variable between 170 and 230. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature
I guess what you could do is if that horn goes off, you could pull the warning out
and departing
of
runway
the
20.
plane.
Select visual approach.
But, man,
Aircraft requesting flight following or entering Bradley class. Charlie
pretty-
Space advised controller with
pretty
destination
simple,
and
right?
altitude for beacon code.
I don't know if the horn stays.
Use caution for bird and wildlife activity in the vicinity of airports and runways and
Double check your seatbelts.
areas in the vicinity of Brainerd Airport.
Good.
Advise
Fuel
on the
selectors
contact,
are good.
information Tango.
Now we're going to be left base for 20.
Brainerd information Tango 1753 Zulu observation.
Should see the runway just to our left about 11 o'clock. So we're going to swing a left around these white buildings.
Visibility 10. Sky clear.
You keep heading straight towards 80.
2.04
like
3023. Driving into
3023.
Visual
3023.
Aircraft requesting flight following or entering Bradley class. Charlie Airspace advised controller with destination and altitude.
2,500 feet.
2,500 by the edge of the airspace is pretty good. The only thing we have is Bradley at 2,100 for the outer shell, but that doesn't happen until we get a little bit closer. So we got plenty of distance. Pretty much right around the buildings over there. I like to be around 1,300 to 1,000, just because this thing loses altitude a lot faster than it gains it. Looking good. 126.
Well, I mean, you know where the airfield is.
I see it. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you see it, Gavin?
I know where it is.
Okay.
I fly around.
I know it's on the other side of the water.
Yes. But you won't be able to see the water until you're right over it here. Do you see those 2 white flashing lights? They're about 11:30.
Nope.
They're pretty close. They're in the city, it looks like. But just at the top of the left side of those big white buildings, you're going to see 2 white flashing lights, kind of like warning lights for the top of smokestacks.
Yeah, I know what I'm looking for. I just don't see anything.
It's okay. You'll be fine. Just follow 84, and then we'll tell you when to look left. So we're about to go over Rentschler Stadium here.
Is this the airfield right here to the left? Just left of the...
On the far side, yep, of the trees. Yep, that's it. You're looking at 2-9, the flat area for 2-9 right now. All right, altitude's looking good. And so since we're not setting up on a traditional downwind, when you get to that report, we'll put the gear, and I like to do, again, flaps, gear, flaps, because the gear's going to slow you down, but it won't make you any more stable, really. The flaps will slow you down and they'll make it a lot more stable, especially even with flaps 1. And I would increase that descent rate just a tad.
Yeah.
Rex, Hartford, just going to answer that in.
And below 160 first notch of flaps.
Yeah, you can start pulling some power. We're a little high up. Yeah, there you go. Whenever you want to drop the gear, we'll do that.
Brainerd Tower, citation 49
out,
Alpha, ready for takeoff, runway 20.
On to...
Citation 429 Echo Alpha,
Three.
Brainerd, ground to wind
One in the air.
2108, gust, correction, Brainerd Tower to wind 2108, gust 17, runway 20, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 20, 9 Echo Alpha.
9 Echo Alpha, thanks for your patience, and hopefully it gets you on your way here pretty soon.
Alright, no problem.
Alright, we'll start arresting our descent here. Let's add a little power. And we want to be no slower than 105 here. Around this base to final turn here, okay? So let's try and keep it a little closer from 84.
Okay.
That highway is 84
Yeah, yeah.
if you're familiar.
And
we're
full forward and full forward.
Yes, sir. And we're going to report over Wrenchler,
down.
2 mile left base, 20 full stop.
Say again?
We'll say 2 mile left base, or yeah, 2 mile left base, 20 full stop, 2 Tango. I want to report.
Over the airfield?
Over the stadium, yeah, which we're about to be over right now. So I would keep it coming down. Starting to see the airfield here?
Yep.
To our left. You want to do it?
Go ahead.
Brainerd Tower, Seneca 852 Alpha Tango on a 2 mile left base over the stadium, runway 20 full stop.
Seneca 852 Alpha Tango, Brainerd Tower, squared off. I do have one citation departing. I want to just give yourself a minute for spacing so you don't incur any wake turbulence. The wind 200 exists, gust to 17, runway 20, clear to land, caution wake turbulence.
Squaring it off, 20, clear to land, caution wake turbulence, 852 Alpha Tango.
Citation 429 Echo.
Alright, we'll pull flaps 2.
Departure, have
Just
a nice
keep it
flight.
slow.
Over departure,
And no rush here. We're going to slow it down. Just keep slowing it down. Looking great, man. And so we'll just pull flaps 40 at whatever point you want on final, but when you pull flaps 40, we're going to slow it down to 90. So I recommend doing it just over the water there. It's going to give us about 10 knots over our, what is it? No, wait till you make the turn. Yeah, you're a little slow, so give it some power. Give it some power while you make this turn so you can keep the nose low. There you go. Nice. See how you're getting 3 red here? You got it.
Yeah. Visual.
Visual. Yeah, I would wait till you get a little closer, get back on that pappy, and then you can pull the flaps 40, but we're going to have to slow ourselves to 90. The 90 is going to increase our accuracy. A 90 knot approach is a 2-stripe float. Nice. Yeah, feel free to use that trim if you want. You're basically back in slow flight, so power for altitude, pitch for speed. Looking good. That pitch coming up here when you do that. Nice, nice. Alright, you're good. You're good. Nice. Let's try and use up some of that airspeed here. Got it. So it looks like it's going to be a left rudder, right aileron landing for the cross correction, but I'll let you take this. You got it. Good. Keep us on the center line. Yep. Yep. You're good. You're good. Just start pulling that power out. Pull that power out. Yeah, just let it out. Let it stay out. Bring it right to the numbers. Good. Nice. Start that flare. Good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Let it sink. Let it sink. Lift the nose. Lift the nose. Excellent. Aero brake. Aero brake first. Aero brake first. And now on the brakes. Nice. Job. Cool.
Number 5 Alpha Golf, right turn with able, ground point 6.
This is going to be fun.
All right, turn able and ground point 6, 12 Tango.
I'm sorry, number 2 Alpha Tango, correction, thank you.
All right, cool. And we're getting all the way clear, and then we'll call. We're clear on Charlie.
Charlie. Clear right, clear left, coming straight.
Yep, and hold here. Good, just until we get on the frequency. No, that was good. You got a little squirrely at the end, but the position was okay.
That was a horrible number.
Let me call